Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on a problem involving the average profit. So whenever they ask for an average blank, so average profit, so it's connected to average cost and average revenue as well, but the average profit, so average profit function is, they usually use a bar over the P like that, and all it is P of X divided by X. But another way that this could be looked at is the same thing as P of X times 1 over X. So this method is, the second method is better for us if P of X, or whatever this function is, so this one's better if our function is a rational function. If we have a rational function. Okay, so it's better to write it like this in this scenario. Okay, and the reason for that is, well, let's see it. So we've got, so I'm just saving a little space. So let's actually plug this in. So that's given right there. So it's 8x minus 3 over 2x plus 1. And then since it's written with times 1 over x like that, it's a little easier now to simplify. So this first one, I mean, it would work, but you would have a complex fraction is what we would say. And so we don't usually like complex fractions. So now all we have to do is, well, the 1 would distribute, which doesn't change anything in the numerator, but the x in the denominator would distribute, and we would get a different looking function. Okay, so we've got, so find the average profit function. That's where we are going to have it. So 8x minus 3 is the numerator. And then when we distribute the x in the denominator, 2x times x would be 2x squared. And then positive 1 times x would be positive x. There we go. Okay, so whenever you see average blank, so average profit, so you could see, so average cost is another one, which again, is just taking your cost function and dividing by x, or if needed, to rewrite it using a rational expression 1 over x timesing the cost. And then if they also ask what's the average revenue would be r with the bar equals r of x over x. And one more time, if needed, we could rewrite that. Okay, so this would be r of x times 1 over x. Okay, so if you ever see average blank, so we would want to rewrite it like that. Okay, so we got our average, and we have our average profit function. So we want to find that we had a total profit function of pet rocks. These were a real thing at one point, so people actually bought these. Okay, but it doesn't match the equation in real life, so this is just a made-up equation. But pet rocks were something real if you're curious about it. Okay, so number 2, find the average profit from selling 10 pet rocks. Okay, so we just found the average profit function, so that means all we have to do is plug 10 in to our function. So it's 8 times 10 minus 3 over 2 times 10 squared plus 10. And then so when we simplify this, we get, let's go ahead and keep it horizontal. It looks like it's 80 minus 3 over 2 times 10 squared is 100 plus 10. So we'll keep simplifying. So this is 77 over 200 plus 10 is 210. And then this is probably something we'd want to rewrite using a decimal, since it's like a business problem. Okay, so I had some work from some previous problem still in my calculator. And I just want to do 77 divided by 210. And there we go. Okay, and it gives us that. If we needed a decimal there, or if we needed a fraction, remember that button will do it, but probably we would want to see a decimal. So it's 36.67, or let's do 0.3667. We'll do it to 4 decimals, so 0.3667 like that. Okay, so however many decimals they might need. So that's our average profit from selling 10 pet rocks, and that would be in dollars. Okay, so or at least I'm assuming it's in dollars. It just says the total profit from selling. So it could be in like hundreds of dollars or whatever. So if they said, let's add, so I'm assuming it's in dollars and that's it. If they said, if like P of X is hundreds of dollars, so just as an example, well then times this answer by 100 and we would get 36.67. If they said it was like in thousands, is so thousands of dollars, then we would have times this answer by 1,000, so $366.7. Okay, so anyway, so but they didn't tell us anything, so I'm assuming it's the one that we boxed. Okay, so they left it pretty vague. Okay, so that is our average profit. So it's I guess 36 cents per rock there when selling those 10 rocks. Okay, and then one last thing. Step 3, find the marginal average profit function. So marginal is telling you find the derivative of this function. So we need find the marginal average profit function is finding P bar prime of X. So that's what we want to find. Okay, so we have our P bar of X there. Okay, so I'm going to write that here to the side so I don't have to scroll too often. Okay, so we have that. Okay, and so for P bar prime of X, I see, well, this is a quotient, so I have my high portion and I have my low portion. So that means I would do my low D high minus my high D low all over my low low. Okay, and then now I can start to sub everything in. So my high, I'm going to keep in blue. My low information, I'll keep in red. And let's get those. There we go. And then now let's set it all up and plug it all in. So our marginal average profit function is equal to our low, which is 2x squared plus x, derivative of the high. So this I think we could just eyeball and plug in. The derivative would be just 8. And then we have minus just the high, the 8x minus 3. And then the derivative of the low, well, again, I think we could just eyeball it and plug it in. Looks like 2 and 2 would make 4. X minus 1, so we have 4x. And then the derivative of x would be 1, like that. All over the low one, the 2x squared plus x getting squared. Okay, and then now, just like all derivative problems, we would simplify, so just take your time with it. Okay, so we have this 8 would distribute into these. So we have P bar prime of X. So the marginal average profit function is, so the 8 distributes, so we'd have 16x squared plus 8x. And then over here, let me go ahead and use a parenthesis because this minus would distribute once it's simplified. But first, we would need to FOIL. Okay, so minus. And then let's set up our parentheses. That should be good right there about. And then let's FOIL it. So 8x times 4x is 32x squared. And then 8x times 1 is positive 8x. Negative 3 times 4x is minus 12x. Negative 3 times positive 1 is minus 3. All over the same old 2x squared plus x getting squared. All right, and then now I can distribute this negative through. You could also combine this first. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the negative, and then afterwards look for combining. So let me put that over here so I make sure I have enough room. Okay, so I've got 16x squared plus 8x. Distributing the negative gives us minus 32x squared minus 8x. Plus 12x, and then plus 3. All over the same 2x squared plus x getting squared. All right, and then now I just look at what we have and try to simplify as far as we can. So notice I have 16x squared minus 32x squared. Okay, so that gives us, so let's put our we can put our final answer here. Okay, so 16x squared minus 32x squared would be negative 16x squared. And then we have positive 8x minus 8x is 0 plus 12x would leave us with plus 12x. And then positive 3 is left alone, but we still need it. And then over the 2x squared plus x getting squared. Okay, there we are. And then now if they wanted us to plug anything in, we could, okay, and see whatever that number is, and then we would have our average marginal, our marginal average profit for whatever value. Okay, but that's all they wanted here. So we don't have to worry about plugging anything in. That's it. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.